Discord. Et hop. Et on est là. Je vais prévenir tout le gang. Et ça va commencer. Tac. Autre. Hello, hello Pizza Darius. Yeah. I can see the message on this view. Let me see if it shows on the it shows on the stream too. That's nice. How are you doing? Let's see. We're gonna be chilling a bit before it really starts to let people come in. I've got the setup. We got it's all right. I mean, I got the crit setup, so I can show a bit. I can explain stuff pretty easily. I have it on the other. I have it on the second screen too, so I can add whatever I want. got the blender. From that on, it's pretty much full. Oh yeah, 32 gigabytes of RAM, I guess. I've got 16 on this machine, I think. It's but yeah, Unreal takes a lot of memory. Actually, I've been at work. I had some trouble with memory issues, but not because I didn't have enough memory, but because my code did have some leaks. But that has been fixed since then. The way this stream has no music, you can bring your own music and leave it in the background. It's not gonna be any. Didn't figure what to use. But yeah, I can. What can I do? Well, since while waiting for people to come in, let's make. So this is my to-do list. My general to-do list with the 9 attacks we're gonna have to work on in the next hours. Not sure I'm do everything, and there's a few extra things I thought about if there's time or something like that. And we got the. Let's take the make specials easier to access. That's gonna be useful. And check real quick. Oh, to how do you set that in English again? But yeah, you got two cards for okay, yeah. Okay, I'm not really a computer parts expert. Like I can explain how GPUs work, but don't ask me to pick a GPU for you. It's not. I really can't. I don't really know how. I don't really follow, to be honest. The GPU rules. I was talking with someone the other day actually at a tournament, and he was we were talking a lot about graphics and stuff like that, and I mean that's you can see the difference between someone who's an enthusiast, so they're really hype about the new technology, the stuff like that, and then there's me that's just a dev, and I mean I know about those technologies because I've had to work with them, so it's not. It's like, oh yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I know how shadows work. Oh yeah, ray trace shadow. That's something new. Yeah, you can add some stuff with it. Which cards can do it? Oh, I don't know. But yeah, let's make a few specials. Yeah, that's the casting editor interface as usual. We have the character we're gonna work today. We're gonna work on today, which is Eremia. The throw is a bit broken in terms of animations. Actually, there are a few things that are broken, but we'll see in time. Let's. I'm gonna use Asta for this one. See, it's more complete. I'm gonna see the difference. I'm gonna make specials a bit easier to access by being able to hold down the U button. I can see the U button. I hope I'm pressing it. And if I and instead of having to upgrade manually, because I have like because I don't know if you watched the previous log, but yeah, there's the fireball, but you can also upgrade your attacks in this one. Allows you to use the fireball or this one, the gun flame. But if I have to restart, it's annoying. So let's see what I can do here on myself, and by saying let's see what I can do, I know where I'm going to. It's on the attack cancels type. It has this big multiplexer, to be, oh yeah, well, that's how you get your upgrade. Therefore, I'm gonna add an does it work first one? There's been a lot of it's getting hot and cold pretty quickly here. Therefore, oh, there's a bit of people in the chat. I didn't notice. Hello everyone. So, it's my first time streaming on Twitch, so it's a bit. So I am getting used to it. But yeah. So for this one here, I'm gonna, before starting proper, I'm gonna change how I can do the specials. So as I said, you have the different upgrades, but I have to do the upgrade command each time if I want to change. So I'll add a quick check that allows me to access one upgrade directly. See anything? Yeah, okay. It's the button does indeed exist. So if I am pressing U, I'm changing the attack cancels to add, so I can get the upgrade if I press I get the upgrade if I'm pressing the M button, and I get the alternative version in pressing the E button. See? This is the regular one. This is still the killer one. No. Oh yeah, right. I have to touch the other one to do the cancel. So yeah, this works. I use the deck and yeah, okay, this works. I just take that and put it for the others. So this command says use the MU for upgrade attack. If I press 8M, use the MA command if I press 8P. And it also does that on different cancel conditions, and this time I use this variable to be able to change them on the fly. So with that, I think I've got all my attacks on point. So normal one, special one, air, jump, oops, wrong one, big jump, fake jump. Okay, then that's what we need. This one's gonna be annoying, but whatever, we can manage. Yeah, I have to change button for the input, but yeah. Okay, cool. That's one thing done. So well, let's just write it out. Perfect. But yeah, it's 15:32, so that's gonna be time to start. So hey, welcome everyone to the stream, development stream for Molten Winds. So I don't know if you have seen the previous devlogs, but yeah, that's a small fighting game I'm making to improve Castaigne itself. It's inspired by RPGs, which is why you have stuff like level mechanics and a lot of resource management. It's a team fighter, and there's actually very few attacks per character, about 13 or so. So 3 physical attacks and 3 magical attacks which can be upgraded in one of 2 ways. And, so that's the main part of the character. That's what we're gonna do today. So as you can see, I've got 9 attacks on screen. So there are a few that are already somewhat made. So it's 5M and 8M. They exist. And the other ones, they kinda don't actually. I have the animation for 2M, but there's none of the alternative attacks are made yet, and that got no upgrades. So that's what I'm gonna do some work on. So if we are getting to, we're gonna start with 5M. Actually, it's gonna be so by the way, I don't play music here today, so you can bring your own if you want. Yeah, so I'm seeing so 5M. So you can look at my graphic skills. So it's just a long poke, and so I will want to make it a bit better graphically right now, because let's take a look at it in practice. This is the character we're working on. So Eremia, she's the defensive mid-range character of the game. You know, one of the two characters you get when you start the game. She's like the Ryu or the Kaikisuke of the game. So you have this long spear and you can poke with it pretty far away. You have the anti-air poke, which is has a good bit of range, and this is actually your fastest normal at 6 frames. And you have the down poke. This one is 7 frames, this one is 9 frames. Yeah, and this one it's slow. You can't block it standing. And then we have the specials. So if this is your normal range, this is your special range. So as you can see, you can zone people out pretty easily with that. But but actually it's missing a bit of effects, because if you take like one of the attacks, you can see there's this magic circle that's common to every magical attack. And I kinda forgot about it on that one. Plus it's using some kind of it's using this light halberd effect. So I'm gonna just change it with the. I'm gonna take out the halberd part, just keep the spear part. That way it's gonna be clearer to see, and match the hurt box better. Tac. You can see. So it's gonna match the earth part vector, as you can't hit with that part. So that's gonna be a bit of modeling work, but it's not much. So if I think I've shown it quickly before last year, but this is my modeling pipeline. So I have my Blender open with algorithms that can just take my 3D model and give it a pixel art look, Game Boy Color style. There's a few things actually with that, because you have because like if you can see, that's the raw render. That's without outlines. You have a lot of internal buffers to work with. This is the raw render with just the colors. And yeah, but yeah, and with that I can just alter my model and get what I want. So here it's said poke. So okay, so you have the braid. The braid is actually taking a lot of time when you want to animate, because I mean the character itself doesn't have that many poses, but you have the braid moving in between each shot. So she prepares, she stabs, and then she comes back, and you see the braid come back. So let's start by seeing all the parts. Can I remove the part? Let's see what. Let's get to it. Bone, it's been a long time, so if I take it out, you can see there's a bit of a problem, because this part is actually pretty big. Let's change it anyway. Let's adapt. Gonna have to make this a bit bigger. Okay, so that way I did it without having to change anything important. Laziness wins again. I think I might have increased the range on that one. We have to check. so I don't think overly. Yeah, I think it's a bit larger than it needs to be. Getting nerfed in real time. And here. Okay, so with that, like this. I'm gonna show the export pipeline real quick, so you can see how it works. Magic 5 because it's my the name of the animation folder. It's a bit manual, and I just press Ctrl F12, and you see the sprites are getting rendered. So yeah, finished rendering the sprites. I'm running a bit of a script on the second screen that just assembles the different images one after another into a big one to make a sprite sheet. Then I have to restart the casting editor. But in, open that, and there we go. You already have the new sprites in. So it's really quick to iterate. That's why it's a bit easier to work with than Chronon Titans, for instance. But yeah, so we got that. Let's then add the circle. So add the circle. There's the associated parts. Okay. Where did I put it again? Okay. So with that one, what you want, first off, take it out, see it. Then move. So then you choose the circle type. You have the trig working here. I think it's 0.6. Yeah, that one for the light type. Well, actually, let me just show you the different circles. So we got so it's for different elements. So not all of them have been made. So we have fire. I think it's ice. Yeah, it's ice if I remember correctly. In the wild. Wind. Life. Yeah. Magic. It's neutral magic. Light. So every circle has this kind of design actually, which is used. Then there's poison or darkness. I don't remember. This one is actually pretty funny because it's like this, and it's like the web actually moves. It's a neat effect. Then this one is earth, I think. Yeah. Okay. This one I forgot. That one might be darkness or something. And if you take that, this one is supposed to be like pure mana. That's the stronger version. So yeah, we're using light. Every character uses a few elements, and Eremia uses light. So we take the circle, put it towards where it needs to be, and then we put it at a reasonable size. Okay, like that. Then here, that way it goes behind the book. And now we can move this one in screen space. Wait, it does a progressive effect. The spear goes through the circle. It's a bit big. Like this. I'm gonna actually I have it set up on. It's gonna be easier to just take this one. 5. And then we just take this one here, move it over. Let's put this. Here. Since it's already starting here. So in that case, for that one, I will put it here. Let's ignore the magic type for now. Position stable. It's gonna come little, so 0.6. So let's make it start that way. Then we tell this scale to correctly. This one, let's check out quickly. Okay, it's got correct size, got correct. It looks okay, probably. Let's see what it looks like in action. Don't hesitate if you have suggestions or questions in the chat. I have it on the second screen, so I'm supposed to see what's going on. Once again, we're in for reopening the editor. I think it can get. Yeah, the issue here is that it's a bit. Like the animation is alright, that's not the issue. The thing is that the circle moves a bit too uniformly, I would say. It's not like the strike is getting here, but the circle actually should disappear faster. But he moves a bit slow. I need to add a new frame for that one. Because I need a frame in between this one and this one. Yeah, I need to duplicate this frame and add another one. Let's take all the bones. And it's this one and the next should be merged, and I need another one here without the. Therefore, let's move all the frames one over. Why is this moving in between? I don't know. It's okay. The Blender expert. Oh yeah, it's just the interpolation. I'm done. Okay, so that one. I need a copy of this one. And I need a copy of this one. So another one. Copy both. Okay, so now I have my frame copies. So I need my circle here, just like that, in the correct position. Yep. I need it like this here, and one without the circle here. That way I have the ability to make the circle go faster and to hold out without it. So that I'm rendering again, but this one is gonna break the animation because I'm moving a bit too many sprites around. I could have added them at the end, but it would have been a bit harder to work with. So but yeah, with that we're gonna be finished with this. If I can see the animation doesn't work anymore, that's why we're here and remembering which ones. So frame 6 and frame 8. So frame 6 is now frame 7, 8, but this one 9. However, there's an additional one here. So this is frame 10, I think. Mistaken? I am mistaken. There's been one frame lacking since the beginning, probably. Which is my attack. So I've got 41 frames here. Let's add let's add the additional sprites, well, manually. So we got 5. Frame 3 is a strike, frame 4 for just after it, and frame 5. Okay. Oh, okay, I see. So frame 5, this is frame 6 in reality. The frame here should be for 17. It's already a change. You can see the circle pops back in. This is as expected. So this is frame 6. Then at frame 7 we have the next. I think this one can come a bit faster. And then we have this one on frame 24. That's gonna make it so that the animation leaves, circle leaves here. Looks a bit better now that it's not locked to the braid. But now I have to do, so it's the frame 9 which I start getting back. So let's make it look a bit faster here and here. Okay, that's gonna be good enough for me. So I've got the animation, I've got that. I think this one might be pushing a bit. There's actually 2 hitboxes here. So one is as you can see, one is the close range hitbox and one is the longer range hitbox. That was because I've declared the first hitbox first. This means it's gonna take priority. This is the sweet spot. So it's the only difference that does more knockback. The idea is if I didn't and both are doing the same knockback, that means that here I'm doing either here I will be doing very low knockback even here, which means I'm gonna get punished, or I will do a lot of knockback here and that would look very silly. Therefore let's but it was a bit too much, so let's put a bit less knockback. Yeah, I think that's good. That's enough knockback. If I do that, I'm -4 on this book. Wait, no, that's way too good frame dagger. Let's put it -7. -7, yeah, well. I mean, the other one guy can move, but he's getting pushed back, so. Oh, no, it's working quite well. Okay, you can keep the other guy at bay pretty well. And if he's far away, he's getting towards this area. So yeah, that's gonna be correct for me. I think this also makes some no, I would say some routes are are more consistent, like 5M into the Desperation attack. But still, again, it doesn't have that much range. It's not supposed to be able to combo all the time. If you're close enough, you can combo, but not if you're far. Therefore, that's done. Let's write it out on the super to-do list. 5M done. Another question is. The question is for 5M, since we're on the 5M grind, so we can do the upgrade one or the alternative one. The issue here is that I'm not exactly sure what I want to do for the upgrade version. Like, so as I've said earlier, you have two upgrades, and so you have the normal attack, and you're supposed to be able to have a stronger attack and an alternative attack, which changes the way it works. So the alternative attack is gonna be a sort of hook strike. She uses the axe part of the spear and brings the opponent back in. So this is safer, so you don't get punished if you do that. And that also means you can since it vacuums, you can get closer for more mix-ups, which is gonna be really useful as an assist, especially I think, and with assists in general, and with the cancels coming up. And so in the meantime, I think this is what we're gonna be working on. But for the upgrade one, like, how do you make this thing better? But like better in a cool way, not just I've added better frame data, it does more damage. That's a bit easy. What kind of options, of cool options you can add after that? Like, what would you want that doesn't make the character too broken? Like, for instance, do you add a second poke? Because here you see there's the poke hits pretty high. So actually, the way the hotboxes are, I'm gonna do a drawing to justify having that here. But the way the pokes are done in Molten Wind is that the hotboxes are separated into 4 heights. 4, yeah. So you have bottom, in order to not say low or high every time. So bottom, mid, top, and air. So basically, a character has his hotbox here. So this means every character that is airborne will have at least this hotbox, depending on what exactly you want to do. Sometimes you can have another one. And every attack actually hits on very specific heights. This means that with the correct hitbox placement, you can make move avoidance a lot more, let's say that, designed. Because that way, if I do a very low profiling attack, I know exactly which attack is gonna be able to low profile. And in actuality, so, and Eremia's moveset. So you have the 5P, it's here. 2P, it's here. 8P mostly hits here, but a bit here too. That way you can actually stop people from rushing you down too much with a fast normal. And your 5M actually it's here. That means it's pretty hard to jump over. You need some really specific moves, but it's pretty easy to low profile under it. Therefore, a good option could be for the upgrade to be able to hit somewhere in this area, like a second poke. Like you attack, and then if you see the other opponent attacking below, you could do it again. However, that's not always super. I mean, that kinda. This is one of the weaknesses of the character. So something that mitigates it so much that way on her main attack, I'm not super fan of that. So we'll have to think about something else. Maybe something with the charge poke. Being able to charge it might be pretty nice. But yeah, that way you can mix up the timing, stuff like that. But yeah, in the meantime, we're gonna do the hook attack. So I'm gonna keep using this animation here. 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 let's get to work on the first real animation of the day. So we'll start at frame 11. That's good enough. I'm gonna leave 2 frames in order to move the braid each time. I'm gonna do the strike pose first this time. That way it's the main pose. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's the oh yeah, right. It's been a while, as they say. It's linked to the IK is linked to the. First of all, this I can do, and the IK is linked to the spear. Spear is handled as a held object, which was here. There you go. That way I can move the spear more easily. So she does. So she will have the spear held in front of her. She holds it in front of her. Slight angle. Does this one hit somewhat high up or somewhat low? That's a question I have to answer. Which was the height? The height was here for the previous one. I'm gonna make it look do it at the same height. That way it's gonna be more. It's gonna be less randomness and depending on what exactly you enter. Select. Let's move. Yeah. See that? So, if you came in for a programming stream, it's not. I mean, we're not gonna do a lot of programming because the issue with that is that since fighting games are a lot of mostly animations, you're not gonna get plenty of time to do programming. Like when you do system mechanics or when you do engine stuff, you're gonna program. But if you're gonna do the moves, well, as you can see, it's not. We just say, oh, I want to move like this, then you do the move like this, and it's over it's over. So. We want like the halberd head. We can test it. Where is it? Okay. The model isn't super nice here. Isn't super nice. Let's fix it real quick. So basically, since I have it like this, can I do a loop cut? Would have been too easy. Therefore, I'm gonna force it to cut by cutting these 2 parts. So loop cut is going to go all around the model. Therefore here, because it's a bit because geometry is very tricky, and I'm doing some additional cuts in order to guide Blender. That way now we can do the loop cut. Isn't exactly where I wanted to have it, but Now that I think of it, it's not the best place, but hey. We'll still do this. So what I wanted here was to keep the volume, because it's supposed to go all around the object, but shorten the edge. That way, now when we're here, the shorter edge has a better potential silhouette. Gonna do the same with these additional points we just added. I know you can already see that before we didn't have this edge, now we're starting to have it. It's not as quality. The good thing with this pipeline is that you can rework stuff really quickly. That's what it's for. So I'm having here is using the weight of the hook, so she is holding it like this in order to go to the other side. So let's a bit side here. Let's bring it a bit in front so we see that we're it. Let's use the head. Let's have a look in the direction of what she's doing, which is usually a good idea when you're in a fight. Hello Galosh, glad to have you here. Yeah, so hold. I think she needs to be a bit lower for the weight, but makes it look a bit weird. Yeah, because she needs to have her weight towards the back, I think, in order to have better leverage with the spear. Maybe it shows that I'm not a spear user in real life, but whatever. Where can I see this bow 9? I think that's gonna be good enough for this one. Here we have one frame. Then we're gonna do the frame after, where she has finished hitting with the hook, and therefore she's now finished. So the spear is on the other direction. Her torso is gonna look in the other direction. Do I switch the hand? That's something to think about. Do I switch the hand that's holding it? I can have a stronger pose that way. Well, let's take it right now and see where it leaves us. One, also a bit. Let's keep the direction. The right hand is clip. That's the left. Because I could show it in only one hand, like have her hold it like in the drawing here. But that might look a bit weird after the animation. Like, when would she switch hands? Let's do it like this. Smooth that hand again. This one doesn't look too bad. She looks pretty stable. Things, and does work for the scene. She should probably stand with her legs a bit closer together. A bit like a bit. Yeah, like that. This is starting to work. So we're holding this frame. So as always here, it's not the best effect, so it doesn't show that much. And let's do the anticipation frame, the startup one. So in this one, she's gonna be looking the other way. So here, the spear is getting dead. Our center of gravity should be more towards the back. So we can see. There's a good few questions. This hand should go on the head looking forward. There's a lot of manual adjustments. At least it is single sprites, don't need to worry about the interpolation. That's already something that is helpful. And in general, if you're doing your fighting game yourself, this is where I think this is where you're gonna spend most of the time. It's gonna be in animations. If you use a tool, of course. If you're programming it yourself, like if you don't use Castang, for instance, you're probably gonna spend a lot of time on that. Rollback is really hard to program, but the animations are what gonna bring your character to life, and these are the ones that are gonna take the most time to make usually. So we got 3 frames on the animation. That's enough for starting out. So we're gonna. So of course the hair won't be looking right. Everything won't be looking right, but we have an additional move, which is what we want, because that way we can test it. We can see, oh, I want to use it a bit differently. You're gonna have that. So here I need to create my attack, which is gonna be cool. A template I wrote myself beforehand. 5MA. But it already exists, therefore it doesn't let me override it by accident. I'm gonna call it that and rename it. You're gonna need a bit of these kinds of tricks if you're working with Castang, since it's still in development for a lot of things. So I'm gonna use the basic code before we start adding anything. You have attack register. This one allows you to say that it's an attack. This one, in this case, a magic attack, which is a special. Category, I'm currently adding it, but it's, if I say attacks magic long talk, it allows me to sort it into whichever category I want to. By default, it's gonna use the magic type to put it to attacks magic, but I like to sort them a bit more, so you can do that in right here. So long stab. Then you have attack damage. How many damage would the attack do? Attack duration, how many frames, and the hitbox, which is very small here. That's an example hitbox. That way. So right now I have my 5M, and if I do this attack, you see my animation freezes for a second. This is the attack. Yeah, so now we're gonna need to add the actual attack logic. Let's put 45, I think that's a good number. And then frame 1, we're gonna like doing it sequentially. So if the keyboard is a bit loud, So Magic 5, which is the name of the sprite sheet I'm exporting. And then the sprite was 11, I think. Yeah, as you can see here, it doesn't look that good here in the context. So we're gonna need to rework it. Doesn't need, especially doesn't need. I will do it today for sure, or something that's a bit of polish. I don't know if that's gonna be really entertaining. Then we need the attack frame. I think when does the other one attack? I want it to be similar. 12 to 14. I think that's a bit. It's okay for this one, I guess. Let's put frame 12. Let's put frame 12 and see where it gets us. Yeah, frame 12 and frame 15. Let's not keep the attack up too long. Hold on. This one's a bit. I think it can stay a bit more. Not necessarily the hotbox, but you kind of need to feel the weight of it. 3 frames was a bit low for that. You don't really feel the weight. Let me put some additional frames. Can be a bit faster though. Yeah, I think that's a good speed. She's taking you. She's using this to take you side. Let's add some movement before the attack starts. So frame 1 to 13. Let's move forward a little bit. This effectively changes the range. Not that much. Not that much. A unit is really small. And we move a bit back afterwards, so it feels like we are getting pushed around by the weight of the halberd. I mean, by the weight of the halberd. It's made of light, but you know, doesn't mean it is. That way, we have that. Let's put the hitbox where it is actually needed. I'm using the sprite as a reference here, and now I'm able to change the gizmo. So is it hitting high? So it's 16,000 and 24,000. So that's the top level. Then that's pretty close. Let's add it a bit more. Yeah. I think that's a good hitbox. Oh. You can see the momentum is really slow. So here what we want, we're gonna add more data. Attack frame advantage. So if I hit the opponent, can I combo directly? Oh, I've already got a bot. So that's we got a bot in the chat for the first time. I guess there's a. I guess that goes fast. But yeah. Let's see. Here we don't move. So do I want to be able to combo meterlessly and without assist just after that? The answer is no. Therefore, my frame advantage must be smaller than 6 frames. Because if I put frame advantage 7 frames. By default it's gonna be 0, but if I put it here, I can chain with that one. That's not something I want. I think that can be smaller actually. Yeah, that's a good length. But you know, here that would allow me to do a combo, and I don't really want that because first of all that's a pretty strong poke. I mean, it does. Does it go further? Oh, it doesn't go that far actually. It could go further. It could go further, but yeah. So it's it doesn't go that far, but I want, because it's actually if I can combo off of it, it's gonna be pretty strong. And I got a special actually that she has a special property. Going back to the drawing for that, because as I said, you know, Molten Winds has levels. So you start at level 1 and you can get a skill point at level 4, 7 and 10, which is the final level. But in the meantime, you also get stat boost, but you can get some actual passives and unlocks. And for her, her unlock is gonna be to be able to special cancel or special one into another for some extra cost. Basically, if you play the Sin Kiske, that's the same mechanic, except with your regular meter, so maybe more like a Hakumen, but whatever. Yeah, it's closer to Hakumen if you take it into the context. Which means if I can combo meterlessly off of it, that means that every one of my other attacks is going to be able to cancel into this one to combo, and that also means I'm gonna let's say de-emphasize this special, because here it's gonna be more logical to do the hook and then cancel into another special. Whereas if I don't, you want to just attack directly. So in this case, I want my frame advantage to be correct, but not that much. I think 4 is nice. It's gonna be, we're gonna see in the future. And I want it to be a safe attack, not too slow, not neutral on block. I think it's gonna be a bit too strong if I can just bring someone in and just threaten with the neutral. But here you can threaten, and with the here you could threaten with another special. Let's the block animation. Yeah. And now we're gonna use the actual attack momentum. I want to bring the opponent in on block and hit, so I think this one is too much. I'm gonna probably propel him into me. Yeah. That's not exactly the kind of move I want. That's slightly too strong. Like yeah, it's just gonna be annoying actually. Let's put it at 2000. Let's see if that one's not too bad. I can poke. I think the correct range for that is gonna be something like that. It's a bit further than hitbox. That's all about. Push, pull. I think it needs more pull actually. Push, pull. Yeah, this distance is about right. I think the other, that depending on if you hit with the end, slightly more. How much is the other one? Let's not put it longer than the other. 90. Okay, yeah, 90. I've got range. Just put it 75. It's... Yeah, that's that looks about right. Attack. The difficulty is that if you do it from too close, it's gonna bring the opponent back in a lot. But at the same time, that's going to be quite useful. But yes, so I put this and I put it back. Yeah, it works. Don't poke, bring back, up poke, bring back. Wait, you can see it, up poke, bring back. Yeah, works well. Then what you will need here is to add more frames of animations, but yeah, I think it's good enough for this purpose. We don't need to have all the animations done to that level or to this one. It takes because it takes time. But yeah, having the you're gonna lose a lot of time just playing with that if you do moves. But yeah, that's good enough for me. Let's then add. I'm gonna put it on the to-do list now, and because I've talked about it quite a bit now, let's do. Actually, I forgot to put the to change it. So let's put, we haven't been chilling for a while. And 2 specials. So yeah, I want to do I've did the hook special now, and because as I've said, it kind of works a lot with the other specials, like you want to be able to cancel. Therefore, I think now we'll do the special cancel one. It's a bit extra, but it's not gonna be that hard, because it's actually just 1 line or 2. Let's create a helper state for that. So let's create passive special cancel. This is so you can put some documentation here. Say that's a good description if I ever saw one. Added to level check, and we're just gonna call attack cancel magic. Attack cancels magic, I think it was. So this one's gonna put us a warning because it the castator tries to not allow you to do too many dumb stuff. So we mark it as a helper with this function. It doesn't do anything, but it removes a warning and it helps with some parts, like it can show the helpers with the states. Therefore, if I do 5M, I can now also call passive special cancel. Yeah. With the new passive special cancel. Now, as you can see, I can cancel into the other one. I can cancel into this one. This is not supposed to happen. You have either you got this poke or you got this poke. You don't have both at the same time. Although you can upgrade into one, so you can do it. You can do this chain once per game. Watch out! That's because it's so strong. You can't keep it every time. So. Okay, you have the counter. The counter doesn't work actually at the moment. It just plays this animation. And you have the overhead. So the overhead is something I will want to change. Okay, let's add this to all of our moves of the special cancel. So you can see if it's just 1 line, why did I put it into a separate state? It's because that way I can change it a lot easier. I mean, first of all, it's easier to read, like, oh, it is the passive cancel. And then that means if I want to disable it, I can disable it everywhere, with just 1 line or 2. Why you want to factorize code in general. But I mean, casting doesn't require you to do too much code, but if you have the coding logic, it's gonna help you. So that way, now I can do this one, if I don't get into the blind spot. I can go back in. I can do big overhead, bring the opponent back in, and then counter. Let's do that. Oh, wrong one. Anyway. So, well, but now let's talk about the overhead. Because I've got the special cancel, but the overhead itself, so it's got this motion where you attack the person, but you also have a big blind spot. The idea is that you can use it to harass people from afar. It's not that slow, it's pretty fast, as a poke, and it hits all heights, as we've said. That's as we said, we have the 4 heights, and one of Eremia's weaknesses is that she has to pretty much commit to one of those. The overhead actually allows her to hit all 4 at the same time. It's one of the only moves she has that has this kind of property, which is why it can be pretty critical. But here it allows her to apply some pressure while staying at a distance, which is really nice. But as you can see here in the animation I've added, so she does a little jump forward and then a little jump back to get. get the distance. That's not something I necessarily want here today. I don't like it anymore. So I think we're gonna just have the attack hit once without without moving too much. So just here, and then she stays here. Maybe she does one step back, but that's about it. So to lower the recovery a lot, that way it can be used more as a harassment tool. And that way the blind spot is also a lot more important, because if it's faster, you're gonna use it more. You're gonna have to make a choice between hitting all the different directions, so vertical defense or horizontal defense. And the idea here for the upgrade is to actually improve that little jump, and that way she can low crush some very specific attacks. So that means she can protect herself against some of the lower pokes or lower or the low profile attacks that will attack also low, which can be a lot of. And with the little jump, she can reposition. You will be able to control where exactly she lands, which will mitigate the blind spot a bit. That way, so if you start here, the base attack is here, but you can jump to cover this area or this area, for instance. That way you can alter it depending on your opponent. And the alternative upgrade would be to actually change this attack. Instead of being a long range overhead, it's gonna be a short range one, and she will have a second attack beforehand. This one has a big hole, this one won't. It's this one has that way it gives it a different purpose. Well, I mean, the mix-up is pretty obvious, because you have this big startup with the hit stop, so that way it's not as good as a mix-up option. But it has no blind spot, and he can, because it starts so fast, it can cover all those 4 heights we talked about very quickly. This reduces your effectiveness at a distance, but increases it at a short range. That's a good. I think that's a good trade-off. But for this one, we're gonna need. We can go back to Blender to change animations, but let's not. Okay, this one we're gonna keep it pretty useful. So here's jump back. There was that logic beforehand. We not gonna need it too much, so because there was the previous upgraded attack of that. You could actually choose a bit the distance of the jump back, but that's not do here. So okay, is the speed okay? We don't really want to make it a lot faster anyway, because it's an overhead. You want people to be able to react, especially because you can hit low quite far. So yeah, you have this distance where you can hit both, and one of the other attacks is gonna be a low, so it's not a mix-up character. You want to be able to threaten, but not to just make people guess. So let's change the attack duration. Is something you will want to change, because this one is a bit too slow. So we're hitting at. So we're reducing this length. It's only 10 frames now here. I mean, the attack will still take time, so let's see at which speed it changes. Yeah, she does now she does the jump back animation very fast. Let's put a bit. a bit of movement back because I think it still fits, you know, like she throws herself forward, she gets back into position just after. Works. Here it adds a bit to the idea of the attack more than the attack itself. Okay. I think she can go a bit further back. I'm adjusting it mostly based on feel. Here, let's see if how much blind spot, as we said. I think it can. It's worth it to increase the hitbox a bit, because it's a bit punishing here. It's this. Yeah, otherwise you're gonna miss all of the time. It's not super fun. The opponent is here. They can just punish you by walking forward. It's more something you put in. Either you block them and you add that on top, or you do it a bit preemptively to avoid them from. If the opponent is, this one is not made to just stop the opponent going in. And, the blind spot is pretty cozy. Yeah. That way, if you just attack here, or if the opponent wants to retreat a bit, you can probably catch them with that. But yeah, I think this is correct. Let's because we have that, let's remove some of the recovery, because here, I mean, as you can see, you can just walk in and be completely yeah, this one looks more like a different poke instead of a thing. Way I can just, if I walk in I can punish, but if I get it I don't. And let's see, frame advantage. I don't think you should be able to combo after that one, but let's not. The frame attack here is a bit punishing, so let's. So it's already a bit hard to put it to use it. So let's not overly attack. I think adding trails will be really useful here. I will need to go back and blend that as well. But yeah, this is great. This is the kind of attack I wanted. So I can use that and then poke the other way. It's gonna be pretty annoying to navigate neutral, I think, against her. Yeah, look, you just get. Can I just go here? I can clap you with that. Yeah, but I get the blind spot if I do it. But if I poke in the corner, you don't want to use that one. But if I attack, okay. Yeah, I think it needs to push back more. It doesn't have. Oh yeah, I've put it here. It doesn't really have frame advantage because it just destroys you. Forgot about that. So it forces a knockdown. Is this good or not? I don't know. I think it's alright. If you get hit by that, you get put in a knockdown, and she can reposition however she wants. So that means the attack is actually a lot stronger than seem at first. If you block it, I think you're getting a little bit more pushback, works well too. Yeah. At this distance where you're applying this pressure, it's also really safe. So You could use that one, or you can use that one. Like if you put the opponent down, that's gonna be always pretty hard for them to recover. But yeah, the jump forward might actually be making the attack a bit too extending the range too much, so that it's not as it can get a little bit more recovery. Let's add 3 frames. Frames to each. That way, 3 frames to the recovery. Yeah, that it stays a bit more on the ground. That's that way it brings the impact a bit more, which is something you want. Okay, that works. There's a range at which I can just combo the two together. There's all ranges I can do that apparently, because if I chain it into the other one, it does add a lot. Yeah, okay, if I do it purely into the corner, I get mimed on. But I mean, that's your fault, I guess. Oh, she does. You need to go back if you to go with the other edge. But yeah, anyway, I think in the corner you want to be at this range. So that's even if you poke forwards a bit, like this is a good range for you. Yeah, you poke with a low one if you want to stay a bit further. Yeah, maybe you advance too much. Yeah, whatever. So you can. I think if you're at this range, it's gonna be really hard for the opponent to contest you. This one even more. So that's even if your corner pressure at this range is bad, you don't want to be there. So I don't think it's a problem. As you can see, we finished the move really fast, but then we talk about the move for the next 5 hours. Yeah. So let's get back. We have this one done. With an asterisk, we need to redo the animation. This one here too. Let's add the jumping variation. I think that's gonna be a nice one, because that way you can. The jumping variation, you will go into the air in one of 2 directions. How am I gonna make that one? Already here for that one. What did I use the flag for the jump. So attack register magic, attack duration. No, actually I'm just gonna copy the code of the previous one. This one. Let's put 2. Updated. So if you take that one, we're gonna just modify it a bit and see where that does. So what we're gonna change here is we can add a jump in 2 ways. So I'm gonna do it the dump way. For a prototype, it's gonna be okay. Okay, I don't want to deal with this too much. You can see here I've added some kind of movement, but it doesn't really show. Let's put it here. Yeah, that's about the kind of thing you're gonna want out of this attack. Let's to move. Take the a little bit later. It's not on reaction. Yeah, that's about correct. It does hit a bit faster than it needs to. But yeah, because the thing is that, yeah, of course, with the different hurtbox sites, you can cheat it. If you use an airborne tag, also, I think that way you're gonna have some good hit stand, but it's not always what is gonna be the easiest to implement all the time. Therefore we're gonna keep it that way. Let's add some logic actually to that. So if I hold it, so I want to be able to use it without thinking. So having the regular one have the same range is good. So that way I want to have E forward. So that's the logic here. I'm gonna add two variations. So let's do one where I just hold everyone. E forward, other one as back. So E is the input branch. So that means if I'm holding forward, I do this. Otherwise, if I'm holding back, I do this. Otherwise, I do the regular version. So if I use it with the forward, it's like that. If I hold forward, I don't move or backwards, but if I don't hold anything, I jump in place. Let's add the back jump. You can see here, now I'm jumping back. This is not a big jump. This one is normal for a big jump. But yeah, let's put it, make it a lot bigger. That way you can get back at your preferred range. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be really strong, that one, because you can. Yeah, that's it's gonna be a really strong poke actually, because that way because first of all it slides a bit, so you're gonna get a bit more range, but you can removing a lot of the blind spot here if you do that. It's I think it's gonna be really hard to challenge to, like, I don't know if you can just, like just before we did we just walked towards I'm not so sure we can. That's deck. Yeah, as you can see here, she's kind of following me. That what's the way to deal with it? Before we add such a strong option, what's the way to also annoying to test? Yeah, well, Atlas, you're kind of getting a bit away with it. She can't whiff cancel specials. She has to go back, and no, I see the hitbox. You can't really punish. I mean, maybe with Eremia, could, but with a regular character, you take Aster. Well, he has no. Actually, Aster. I think Aster can bully her. That. Let's take a look at right here. Yeah, because Aster has doesn't have like Eremia just the spoke move. He can do that. So that's his normal attack. He starts block string. So that means. Yeah, they probably have a lot of waste with that, so I think that's okay. That's a bit, that's a strong move. That's a strong move, but if she tries to use it... Yeah, well, it depends on the timing, of course, if but I think you can... I think I did completely clapped with it. If the... Yeah, if the opponent hits at a bit around the same time as you, there's a lot of attacks that can just follow you. So I think it's okay. That was the balanced discussion. is the jump back balance. No matches, just theory crafting. Testing it in training mode. Yeah, this pressure is gonna be annoying for. It's not gonna no this pressure no, but it's gonna be annoying for any Eremia player. I mean, I play rush down or fast characters, so it doesn't really concern me. Actually, let's just remove some moves. It's gonna be easier for me in the future if I play the game. Just remove zoning, remove all the annoying stuff. I don't have to deal with it. So let's see here if I, yeah, this one. I think this one I am adding it mostly for completeness sake. Can it work? Yeah, I mean if the opponent is kind of adding like, oh yeah, am I in the range or not? This one can get them. I think that's a good thing. Let's add a bit more range actually. Yeah, I think this one can be pretty fun. Like that's more of a call-out type of attack. Like the opponent is dancing a bit around your range, so instead of if you do that you won't hit them. If you do that you can hit. But yeah, with that I think that becomes your longest range attack. But I think something that needs to be done because there's a lot more movement with it. Let's reduce the further range. Just not the blind spot a bit. When I do this kind of changes, I'm always fearful that in a while people are gonna have some really weird tech with or if you do this specific position, it's gonna allow you to do this combo. But I mean, it's cool also. So it's nice. But yeah, the issue with that is that first of all, you have a lot more chances of hitting your blind spot, and second, you're kind of recovering pretty close. Like your turn's over. Oh, I mean, if you can special cancel it. Wait, I think there's no. Okay, that's okay. You can special cancel in the air, so it's right. But yeah, that means you can do the poke, start here, and then follow with the despair attack. That's a pretty nice sequence. You can combo with it. It will knock down on hit. But yeah, that's unblocked. It's a nice part. Yeah, I think that's done for this one. You two learn to finish move faster by not doing the animations and just finding out how to fast. Which ones do we get onto the swing or do we? I think at this point we're gonna need to have some more attack animations, otherwise it won't be useful. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add the two swings to be done with the 8M family, and add the trails, the light trails. So let's get to Blender. That's gonna be our home for the next few minutes. So let's start with that one. Because as we said, it's a bit big. Let's add one more here, which of course. Let's reduce the size here. Here. Closer to a circle now. This one's very nice. That's approximative. It looks a bit out. Don't tell anyone, but I'm using the inverted hull here to be able to do it quickly. Because I work online, my reputation is pretty linked to this inverted hull. But yeah, so what I'm gonna add a similar kinds of similar material to that, but as just a line. That way it's gonna be. Let's let's add that here. So because it's given by the material here, so that's alright. Vertex. Here. We're doing pro modeling here, as you can see. A bit here. And then bring it back. Doesn't need to be perfect first time. Just gonna add that. Add the triangles. Oops, not like that. However, yep. Okay, so we have an easy trail. Let's do normals correctly. Yeah, that's one trail. It is linked to one of the bones, so therefore at the moment the halberd head is getting it. Let's actually make two of them, because that way we can have more flexibility, and we'll add a bone in order to show that. So I have the poke effect here, the poke effect bone. I'm gonna copy it for this purpose. It's in the correct group already. Why is the Z not -3 exactly? That's a solved problem. So poke effect, let's light trail 1 and light trail 2. Okay, that's off. Which bone is the parent? No bone is the parent. Perfect. So we got our two bones. Now we take the model and parent it with empty groups, which now allows us to select each one of those and assign them to each light trail. So light trail 1, light trail 2. So now if I go here, you see I now can move the light trail. So let's start by putting it at scale 0. Yeah. So why do I do that like this? That way it's because that way I have my effects keyframed here, and I don't get any bad surprises. That's gonna be pretty useful, because otherwise you can find moves that get an attack or something by accident. That's why I also keep the first frame of each of those animation is always the same. It's because that way I can copy it really quickly and do all my changes. Test. Throw. Oh, this animation, actually I'm putting it here randomly, but this animation was for a trailer. That's kind of like the way it looks. I'm probably gonna use it somewhere else, but I made it because last year I wanted to do a quick trailer. That's why there's actually like the other characters in the game. I don't know if you've seen one, but these two these two characters, I actually made the model just for that potential trailer. So they have a few. It was mostly faking it, but and so they had the animation. Well, it worked better in the before the update. But yeah, they have the small animations here too. Probably gonna do her next if I have to choose a next character. That way I can actually, if I have 3 characters, I can start doing a full team. And I think she has, because she has different types of moves, she's gonna be a lot better for balancing, because we have because when you want to do your first vertical slice, you want to test your mechanics a bit. Well, first of all, you want your base character that's as basic as possible, in order to test if your mechanics are fun in the mirror match. Having a bit of variation, like one that's a bit more aggressive, one that's a bit less aggressive, that's also good. That allows you to test a bit different flows in the game. But here, since it's an assist game, you need 3 characters, and well, that's probably going to be your third one, because she has more of the weirder stuff. Like she can heal, she can charge spells. She's a slower character. That's gonna be useful then. But yeah, that was animation from then. Now let's check if our trails can work. So here, this is the first frame. We're gonna keyframe it so it doesn't show. Let's take one of the trails. First of all, put it in. Because it's the same material, as you can see, it stays at the same. So I'm putting it here. Let's actually reduce the size of this one and bring in the second one. We're constructing the final trail out of several smaller trails. Does this small effect? Put it back where it belongs, otherwise it will come into the animation. And here is gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be, so it's gonna work. That way it suggests a lot more movement rather than what has actually happened. So for the second frame we will remove this trail, and this one will make it smaller because there's less movement. You want to feel, and go. Let's export that animation. Let's see how it looks in motion. And we can see here that now we see the motion of the arc. Well, that was a small change, but I think it will make the motion a lot clearer because there's a lot of movement that's not necessarily on the main axis. So having this will show directly. Yeah, it looks nicer, I think. Yeah, it's could be better. I think because the arc is so big, it can probably be a bit smaller. But yeah, at one point you have to also know when to stop. And I think for today this is gonna be enough, because now we can. I mean, of course, then we can be able to make more complex looking moves. But the idea here is we still don't know if it's gonna be the final move. So of course, I mean, so being able to play with those a bit already will be helpful. And then yeah, that means now I can do the one. But let's be a bit more complete and give some of that love to the this one. For instance, I think this one will love getting a trail. That's yeah, that also was pretty well with the changes earlier. So this one here. That way you don't miss the attack. You see it clearly every time. I reduce the size of it. It will do a smooth transition. Let's put the trails here on this specific frame. This will be quite useful. Here. Pretty whatever. Fix that before it becomes a problem. So because here. Oh, that's too much. Oh, good enough. If you, because of perspective, because we always render in orthographic, that means we can play a lot with the perspective of things. Want to foreshorten this one. Let's. I think the other one needs to be 2. Here we want an addition. We want 2 frames, so one with the trail, so that we see what has been the movement. Seeing the movement, you know what has been done. Yeah. And one that has none of the effects. But yeah, with those 2 changes, I think it will already be improving the other attacks. What is that doing here? Oh, I saved it by accident. good headway. I don't want to put the stream to be too long. I think we'll do the 2 swings move, and then we'll do the dash in order to have a bit more of that. And I think that will be good enough. That's 2 new moves, or maybe just 1, depending on how it is. Because as you can see, it takes time to do everything. Yeah, I kinda like that one. I think it's still a bit too fluid, maybe. Like the style I'm aiming for has less frames, so I think this one might have too many frames and you need to use to chrono. And if I do, so that's that one has a better frame count than the other. Let's add. We got one more sprite now, which is the same without the trail, and this is allowing us to. This is gonna allow us to. Yeah, that one. It's looking better. Could be better, of course, but it's good enough for me. Yeah, oh yeah. With the this move combination isn't the best actually. If you play the game, that means you upgraded both moves. You decided, yeah, I want the poke that brings the people back, and I want the jumping attack. So that's you're getting the long range move and the one that brings the enemy close range. So that's I wouldn't say that's a very good idea here. And yeah, so let's do the 2 moves attacks in order to have a real overhead at close range. Magic 8 once again. I think we can get a new attack here. Let's take the animation. Magic 8R. Take all those here and remove the superfluous ones. Therefore now we have just this one frame. So how did I draw it? Let's take a look at how I drew that one. And she does this move up, then gets into position, and then brings it back down. Let's we're gonna need several poses. So the first pose is how she prepares, then there's the attacks. Hi McMuffin. Yeah, well it's first stream and there are already bots, so yeah, that's they're pretty efficient. Let's do. We're doing a back pose, so that way. I'm working on a fighting game, RPG inspired fighting game, where you have 3 characters on each team, and a very simplified movesets, which you can actually upgrade during the fight. It looks like this. You can have your regular attacks, but you can also upgrade them in one of 2 ways. Either this the straight upgrade, which makes the attack better. For instance, I can control the speed of fireball, or the alternative one, which changes completely the way I use the attack. You can't go back to that one afterwards. So that means if I use this one, I'm out of. I can't use my fireball anymore, and thus can't really compete at the distance. And we are completing the this soldier character and adding 2 hit attack, because she has this overhead attack usually, but he has a big blind spot, so we're adding one that can fix this part. So this is through 3D rendering. Yeah. So first part of the attack, she swings upwards. so I can see them in the front view. Also a bit back. Oh yeah. Yeah, horror games I can't get into. It's not very good with that. I get jump scared very easily. Like we don't. But there have been a bunch of cool ones. I just haven't played them. So it's so you could rig 2D characters. This is actually Blender. It's with a special renderer called Molten, which is which allows you to put whatever GLSL code you want into it. And for me, I use this. I wrote I wrote an article on the subject, but I have an algorithm that's in several passes that can create this line work and stuff for me. So I just use I just take Blender, do my animations here, press F12 to do the render, and that will output everything. Let me get you the link to the article quick. But yeah, I'm going to post it in the chat if you're interested. But yeah, I wrote an article on how I did that. You can probably do it with nodes. I did it with code because that's what I'm most used to as a graphics programmer. But the algorithm itself is not that hard. It does require some knowledge, but it's explained in the article, and it really saves a lot of time. It took like 2 hours to implement, and you can see I can change my sprites really quickly. Where is my hand? Hand is here. So I can change every sprite really quickly. But yeah, what I find the worst with updating is that you're like, oh yeah, I finished the update, I can go take a break. But if but if you have to release it, send it to people, you do have to do that follow up. It can be a bit tiring. Paint 3D, I've never used it actually. I started with Blender when I was younger, and I've been using it since then. So I already started with the hard one, so I haven't tried a lot of the others. Blender is actually pretty useful now. It's it was useful before. It's a lot more usable easily, thanks to the search functionality. If you press spacebar in Blender now, it just shows you every functionality with a search bar, so you can find even the weird stuff. Because beforehand you had to remember 5,000 keyboard shortcuts just to get something started. But now you can do it. Right. Let's take this position. We are back. Back. There's a lot of ways to model. I even use that one, and different tools have different strengths, so that's always the case. Blender I really like because it's very generalist, and if you want to do stylized rendering, I think it's the best best one available yet. Because you have all the community for stylized rendering is on it, and you have you can see with stuff like Molten, like it's really strong, and it's you are not out of you are never with something you can't do in Blender. That's what I like about it. It's a big tool. It can be hard to get into, but once you know it, you can quite a bit with it. but you know, yeah, it's as always. There are some tools you can use even if they have, like, for instance, less features or something. Sometimes because of the interface, some parts are easier to make, and well, that might sound like, you know, skill issue, like, oh, you can't use the hard one. It actually does change quite a bit, because if something can be done in the hard one but it takes a lot of time, you're not gonna iterate as much, so this will change your output. So using the tool that's most they say use the one that's most useful to you. But no, actually, you can move to chess if you start with tic-tac-toe. Blender seems like a maze. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty different. But it's like everything. You can always learn. There's not a time to stop, and especially like today they removed a lot of the hard stuff, because before, if you wanted to do, like, for instance, oh, I want to flip my normals, or I want to recalculate normals. I mean, you see here, I've already added here. I can say recalculate. I can say outside, for instance, or not, because I'm not on the actual thing. But if I was looking here, you see I have this option right here. I can find the inside option as I want. But before, I had to know which keyboard shortcut it was to find the normals menu. And the normals menu is Alt N, and you also have those shortcuts. Shift N. Does Shift N work like this? Yeah, it does work. So that means you have the shortcut for this thing and the shortcut for the other one. Yeah, well, game dev is really big, actually. If you go at higher levels, the code base is really huge. But at the same time, like, it's also really interesting, because you do work on a lot of different stuff with game dev, and the people are also pretty varied. So that's something I like about that domain. That's not the best pose I made. Yeah, not the best pose I made, but I think it's gonna work enough. And then I want to do a pose that's both the startup and the end. This one, I think it's better with two, actually, but let's keep it simple for now. Yeah, that leg position is good. It does bring power. It's like Virgin, I need more of it. Yeah, well, 2D sprite rigging, it's I'm not an expert. I've heard of softwares, so this is not a recommendation. This is just I've heard of the name. Is my hand? I think Dragon Bones is one. Stupid. But yeah, I think Dragon Bones does 2D rigging. Blender does 2D rigging. But yeah, if you can also use it from inside your game engine. That's why they say, like, oh yeah, do it from Unity or something, because that's where you're gonna use it. And if you have a 2D rig in the engine, you can change how you can do inverse kinematics and adapt the rig inside of the while you're using it. So that way you can put, for instance, the feet of the character on the ground. So that way it's useful. Depending on what engine you use, you have different methods. If you use Godot, you have some inside of it. If you do it in Blender, you won't have access to the rig from inside the application. You just have the sprites, so you can't adapt it. But the UI might be better suited. Side that it's better for the second hit. So we're gonna have to do the second hit. Have a look forward. That work correctly. Works super well. Yeah, now works. Let's put the actual overhead. So lower the position. Yeah, I try to avoid animating by hand frame by frame because it takes a lot of time. This pipeline was 2 hours to make, and it saved way more than that. So even for just for because fighting games have a lot of moves, it's mostly animations actually. You can't really get a lot of mileage out of programming, so that's the kind of tools that are really helpful. At the same time, I mean, they're not completely artisan because there's a big technical part, especially in how you program the moves. Because the high-level fighting game gameplay and even somewhat low-level relies a lot on the small interaction and how you program them. Therefore, small implementation details can have a lot of impact, and that means it's not as friendly to artists as you might expect. Where do we... Here. Yeah, okay, so that's no problem. Here's my solution. This is the good part of working with orthographic views, is that I can cheat, and that way I don't need to adjust the pose too much. I can just make it so that it looks good for that position. Let's put the weight forward, here, and now my hand does. I can get looking more like this. Yeah, I think this one looks pretty good. The hands are a bit behind the font. That way they are holding correctly. And that's a good move. Now let's add the special effects. Alright, see ya McMuffin, thanks for coming by. Let's put the effects on thing. But actually it's getting a bit late. It's so I don't know exactly. I'm gonna add one dash frame later, just to be able to play with it, but not the attack itself. So we got the light trail, but we want the halberd. Yeah, halberd trail. The halberd trail is the one that's useful. Yeah, halberd head. And one without, that way it's gonna be all recovery frame. And now the light trails. Do I put it only one or do I put two of them? That's a fair question. I can put it like this, or I can have more of an arc. Let's put it like this to start. Maybe it won't be that way in the end, but if I think it's a good start. Let's get 0 so that we see it too much. Here we don't need it. Here I think I will want the two light trails. So this one here thicker. Second light trail. That way, there's still this directionality of the first one. Then we're removing the first one for sure. Do we remove the second one? Yeah, I think let's remove the second one. That's good. Now that's the big question is, can Blender just create the new folder by itself, or do I need to go in and make it myself? Okay, let's did it. Yeah, I did. I did. So get back here. We're doing. We're adding the sprite sheet, so it's like the Magic 8, except it's Magic 8A. So 2 hit attack. Yeah. Let's add it quickly. We're going to do it fast. Let's new state magic. Eremia. I wonder if it's. I kinda call it 8MAA to be able to change that like this, but maybe it's not a bad idea to have it on. To have the second hit be a hand. Hand activated follow up. Let's do it regularly for now. So 8MA1. See, that's not. It didn't like that one. Did I do? Magic. Okay. Classic mistake. Okay, perfect. I want the attack to be quite fast, so that's why is it going slowly? That's M8. Oh, it's lagging for some reason. Let's. Hello, lunch. Oh yeah. I think I. Yeah, okay, I got it. Okay, allez. Game dev indeed. Okay, it's my OBS taking some time. Well, what? So. Okay, that's one thing. Let's restart it. Maybe it did something. Okay, we got that. Let's get the second sprite at 11 and hit back on. I think 19 frames is okay for this overhead because you can see it coming, because it already has this over attack in front of it. Yeah, we'll have to be careful though with the special canceller. Take your time, MZ. Back here and finishing up all the moves. Let's see. Computer is lagging for X reason. Okay. The attack is quite fast, yeah. OBS is the one lagging mostly. I think it's because I'm also recording this mess, and probably is affecting. So that means He's telling me the stream is taking too long. But yeah, let's actually. I think it can get slower. That's right here, and then it's not a fast over. It's not a fast overhead anymore, but it's a good. Okay, it's not. It's really lagging now. I don't know why. I think the pause can be held a bit more. Actually, I think it's 20, 23, 6, 31. I think that's gonna be slow. Okay. So let's do the hitboxes. One. Getting in by the fake one right here. There. Yeah, but actually this is not exactly Godot. I mean it's Godot, but it's thanks to Castaigne actually, this one. This is not standard Godot, this is the language I wrote for Castaigne script, and it's compiled in real time. So you do this rebuild, but from Godot. So this is it does allow you to do a lot with the engine. Which means it also at the moment it's a bit slow at times because it's running off of GD script. But in the later Godot you can use hook it to some what do you call that again? Compiled languages. So that means it goes fast. So yes, so this one will cover the HUD box just in front of you, and then the follow-up. It has more range. The follow-up has more range. It's this one. But yeah, Godot can still edit code in real time actually if you change into that. But I tend to not like to live edit code because you can get into situations you don't really understand and not reachable usually. So I don't like it that much. But that's the boomer talking. So let's do attack momentum for the first one. So the two attacks are made. Let's that's okay. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, in practice, I'm not sure it happens that much, but I don't like having this possibility. It's the boomer programmer in me talking, but yeah, I kind of don't like having such stuff. Let's make this attack knockdown. The force landing flag. I was going to attack knockdown. Like that. So with this 2-hit move, attack. Then I forgot to attack rearm. So this because you can have a hitbox on several frames, you need to also clear the attack with the attack rearm function. And now I have the first and the second attack. It's pushing a bit, quite a bit actually. Let's maybe here and. Yeah, I think that's one. Okay. Yeah. And now you can continue. Okay. So the opponent, and for a quick mix-up. Let's add, once you're at frame 23, 24, let's put 24. 24 and up. No, 23, right. And now we can use the special cancel pass here. So why don't I, so why do I do it at frame 23? Because now I can do this. Why? That means I can't do it. I can't do it before. So that means if I hit the first one, I can't cancel into another poke directly. If I didn't, if I put it like this, I could do this two-part attack, and instead of doing the overhead, go into something else. Which means I could go into the low, which is gonna be which is probably going to be pretty hard to block. Maybe it could be. I mean, we could use it maybe, but let's not put too much crazy in the characters to start out with. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the attack we want. If the opponent is trying to go under or poke, I don't have a profiler here anyway. X reasons. For X reason doesn't like, probably is using too many CPU cores with OBS. But yeah, so we have this one to protect us. If an opponent tries to low profile attack us to get under the pokes, we can use this 2-hit attack to stop them. So that fixes Eremia's biggest weakness of evasion, but she loses access to this long range attack, which means your long range game is not just poking. If you use the poke, but yeah, the regular poke. You have the regular poke, but this one is both an anti-air and an overhead, so that's a good attack for thing, and you get some Oki. So yeah, that's I think it's pretty interesting, easier to use than the other one for sure. And if you combine it with the hook, right? I think the hook, it hooked, it hit a lot before it needed. Fix it real quick. When's the? That's not. Yeah, like that. Looks better. You can bring the opponent for a quick 2-hit. Continue. Let's actually make the hotbox a bit bigger. That way, it's more useful, and you can actually block some attacks with that. Yeah, that's a string. That's not a string. Yeah, let's add one last move before the computer dies, and I just do it here. That way it's 7. 4 is the attack frame. I have to check it out real quick if I am not doing frames. So 2 is the attack frame, 3 is here, 4 is the attack frame, 5, 7. Frame 7 is actually 2, 4. 3 is the frame between the two, 4 is the attack. Yeah, this one is superfluous and doesn't change anything. Let's space them a bit. Yeah, okay, looks good. For that one before we had an animation bug. Let's do it in. I'm just looking into doing a quick animation so that it Yeah. We're gonna do like, oh yeah, so let's show which attack we're gonna do, and this one is gonna be the 2M variation. So 2M, that's a counter. We only have the animation right now, but the idea is that if you hit it, usually it will do a knockdown. So it's gonna be a fast deflect, which throws the opponent in the air and then down. The idea then is to and on this one you can't combo afterwards. It has too much hand lag, and but you could combo with assists. If you call an assist, you can pick it up, but it's gonna be very scaled. But the new one, the upgraded one, is gonna add a manual follow-up, which you can do after getting paired. I mean, after pairing or before, if you want to be annoying. But the alternative attack for this one is gonna be a dash, a top crushing dash, which can go into a low. So that's basically guys Stun Deeper or Sin's Elk Hunt. Also to Sin's Elk Hunt, because just like Elk Hunt, you can cancel it from other attacks. We're not gonna do the attack today. We're gonna just do the dash. She dashes with the spear. Let's. Okay. So I could be doing that animation a lot cleaner, but I just want the dash to be able to play with it in the cancel windows. To be able to test the passive, because that way it's just the character a bit better. So I'm probably gonna stop after this one, but so don't hesitate to tell me if you found that interesting, or if you wanted me to talk about something else, if you have questions, stuff like that while I'm still here. I think its dash could do a lower, so that's because right now it will look like it can be hit by some pull. Yeah. But if I hit the head, it looks more dynamic and stays under that. Let's render. Yeah, it's also the post on the shader took more time to write than the shader. It's like 2 hours only. Because you got the debug views I had to make for the article. This one shows without the outline. This one is these two ones are the color buffers for the internal lines. This one is a data buffer that allows you to check if you need dithering and to do some line separation. This one is just the alpha. It's just to be able to show it. This is the dither color. So for a lot of parts you see there's no dithering color, so it's not used. But for these, for the chainmail, it's been used. This one is the base color without anything. So here it's a bit sad. And here is the line buffer, which has a little trick because I wanted 1 pixel wide lines. So this is a lower resolution render. It's 5 pixels, but for Blender it's 1 pixel. I needed to be able to choose on which side of the line I wanted to draw it, because if you don't, you just draw on both sides. It's not that pretty. But yeah, it's so I use the ID buffer and I fill it through. I fill it with the information here, border zone. That's the one. If you have 2 different border zones, you draw a line between those 2 parts, and the one that has the bigger border zone is drawn on top. So I tend to use bigger ones for the head, because if you don't, if I had a low one, you see it goes behind. See, there's one less pixel, which here it's okay, but here it changes quite a bit the balance. So we got our new move. So let's add set move. So just take this one because I'm not gonna need it anymore. Attack register. Magic. Sprite, it's magic 8A8. Attack duration. We don't need attack damage here because we don't. Attack duration, let's put it at 24 frames and add some movement just to be able to test this out. State 2MA. And this. Yep. That's good. That's a dash. Let's make it faster and just have the quick burst of speed at the start. Let's try with different speed amounts. Yeah, that one looks good. That one looks good. So now yeah, that's I think this one actually changes a lot how you play, because either you have the counter, which allows you to start strings and stop, and even do well. Now maybe you could be that's not done, but yeah, you can use the counter after any attack since you're negative after pretty much all your attacks. I don't think you have a plus on block normal with Eremia, so you can use the counter to get mental frame advantage. So that's gonna be pretty neat, I think. And you can use, or if you are sneaky, you can use the dash instead. If I do back dash, and then you can use the grab directly. Back dash. That means here I can either go into the long range overhead, which is gonna be annoying which is a combo, or I can use now this new attack to get into closer range and follow it up with a low. So if I had a low attack, it would be here. Okay, something like that. A bit faster. But yeah, that's which is gonna be. I mean, now I can threaten with a low, not just from here, but from any attack. Or I can hold it and get into a grab. So that means I can start pressure with that. This is so that's one of your key attacks. And which means if I combine it with the one that brings you in, it's gonna... You can probably continue really fast, but I'm not sure they have that much synergy. They have that. I mean, because the dash goes pretty far, you can actually get into to great range, but this one doesn't have that much range. Maybe with more range. I think you're closing up very fast. You don't really need that second attack. I mean, you're not used. You're not. It's not mandatory to have them together, but that means that now we have a lot more of Eremia's moves. Like, okay, the upgraded ones don't really change that much. Like, okay, cool. Now I can do this one be even more annoying with my pokes. But being able to use this one, for instance, really changes how you play her. And if you only have this one or the dash, I mean that's where you're really changing how the character is played from the defensive mid range she starts with to the offensive mid range. And that's when she becomes fun to play, because I don't really like to play it's super far. But yeah, like, I mean, here you start pressure really fast actually. I think the dash needs a longer duration. 14 frames is too slow. Let's put it at 17. I think the cancel version should be at 20 or something. Now maybe here it's reactable. Maybe if you... We'll have to check the actual frame advantage on all of these. I think the opponent is slightly plus, judging on the movement of the braid. So, not bad. I think it's... if I had someone to play with, I would have tried a bit of a match against Asta to see which moves actually do stuff. For instance, as we saw earlier, slow, I can't use 2 controllers at the same time, but if you try to do the overhead attack with the blind spot, you can be stopped pretty easily by some of the characters. Even if you do the going back version, not that one. One is it's a bit tricky to do on the keyboard because I need 2 hands for that. Yeah, if you do the jump back, you can stop a lot of attacks coming your way. It's gonna be strong. If you do, on the other hand, you do the forward attack, you can threaten from further in. Can't do that. The dash will always be useful, I think. Also, since it's low crushes, I think you can go. You can certainly go under this poke, for instance. If I do it quickly. So I need to, not looking like I do anything, but I'm holding, I'm trying to hold 3 buttons with my left hand, and just to be able to test this out. Okay, now maybe the Asta's attack goes a bit too... Yeah, I think at this point, I think she plays like Sin once she can play a lot like Sin once she gets to level 5, because that's because when you're at level 1, you just kinda poke, you can't do anything. But once you get to level 4, you can already change one of your specials. So to get the dash, for instance, at level 5, then you can start cancelling your pokes into your specials into one another, and that's when the fun really begins. But yes, but I mean that's kind of the same with Asta. Asta does scale a bit more. Let's show the thing. Yeah, Asta is already kind of capable at lower levels. He can just can use this 5p to get in range, 2p to as low. This one is an anti-air. I think I will redo some of his attacks because he has just a sword, but because when it was pure fantasy, now it's fantasy western. Has the jump to get above some attacks, so he has plenty of options. The safe block sting under, the projectile. Just the projectile actually kind of helps. And with the upgrade, the projectile, he can use it as a shield to get in, so that's already useful. He has the big overhead. I think that's one of the moves that can be changed. Fake out overhead if you want to be annoying. The fire overhead. And you get you have the block string follow-ups. I mean the confirm, which is, or the DP, which also has his own follow-up. How do I? Yeah. You can also do you can also stop the DP forward and do this cursed cross-up, which gives you plenty of. Which allows you to use the DP and keep the same keep same side, even with the follow-up for the same cost, with slightly better OK. If you delay it in a different way, you can stay, you can switch sides, but yeah, it's a bit jank at the moment. Yeah, it works. But yeah, as you can see, Aster has he actually doesn't have passives at the moment. I'm probably gonna add him add a second attack after this one to confirm. But yeah, he's already pretty able. Probably so. Now that I've done a fair bit of Eremia specials, I'll probably continue them a bit on my own time to do some actions. I think the next character that's gonna be up is going to be Caroline, the mage. So, I mean, basically, stream is no, it's just talking today, but I'm thinking she will, because she is like she's a mage and has this big uniform. That's actually a bit too big for her, and a book. So she's gonna be able to charge her spells, and she has and she will have a big variety. So that will allow us to test quite a bit more in gameplay. But that means she needs. I think her only quick attack will be 5p, where she will just. It will be a 2-hit attack where she will hit with the book once, and then turn around and with the open the book and use a quick explosion spell to get you off of her. I think that conveys the idea. And as a spells, she has a healing spell, but which can be replaced by a big duke of sorts, maybe a big laser that will need to be charged to be really useful. But that's she's gonna that way you can switch between white mage or black mage depending on what you need. You can see, by the way, all the characters have a bit of subtlety in their movement. Like Aster, it's a bit hard to check, but you see he does change his speed a bit. It's a bit more. It's you can see it better on Eremia, because she does kind of like the parasol step. See, she does go slower, while Caroline starts slow but gets speed. That means if you start both together, you can see little by little how she is able to push Eremia back with a bigger speed. But not all the time, because sometimes Eremia goes slower and sometimes she goes faster. So there's this back and forth, but Caroline does win in the end. But if you release the button, then you start a lot slower. So that means where Eremia has this, doesn't get this big speed all the time, but she does get this nice neutral option. While Caroline instead can't really escape like that. She doesn't move super slow. She has a right speed, but she can't really move quickly in place. She's really disadvantaged in those situations. I wouldn't recommend her as an anchor, but you never know. Some other characters can work actually. I managed to make Baston work again somewhat with the old sprites here. I use the Baston kick. Baston Labat, best character in the game. But I've got I'm gonna have to do Mystery Johnson at that point too. It was also done in a stream, but he only has 2 moves. I took them from the original model, so the same one in Schwartz Blitz. But yeah, this one is gonna be more focused on mix-ups. Maybe more overheads and lows. Switch it a bit, like since we don't have jump, we don't in this game. We don't need to have low attacks be a lot faster than overheads. We can actually do it in the opposite sense, where the lows are going to be the slow ones, which is going to be closer to 3D games like the one Johnson is from. And we got Adramelech, which once again has a slow get off me too. I think she might be in trouble. Yeah, it's 8 frames. That's not good. And he only needs that. Oh, So, yeah, maybe we'll see how it goes in practice. That might be a bit hard to get people off of you, but she has quite a few options about this animation. The update broke some animations, but yeah, she has this jumping low and jumping overhead, so that's nice. And this rushing attack, which is going to be helpful. Her concept is to push the opponent to the corner, and she's a guest character too. Yeah, we'll do her another time when I think when I'm caught up on the series, which has been rebooted, and when we got other characters. Probably when I got Aster, Caroline, and Eremia working, that's gonna work on the guests a bit more. But yeah. So what did we do today? We did. Let's do the to-do list time. So we did that one. We kinda did the dash. So we upgraded the big poke to be able to have to improve its animation. We added this new move, changed a few things, but still need to work on the animation. We reworked the overhead a bit and added a jumping version, so it's a bit janky. We'll need to do animations again for both. We added the 2-swing attack. That one was neat. And we added the dash, which indeed changed a lot. So, I mean, of course it changed a lot of the character displayed. She has like 6 moves available at any one time, so of course if you change one of them, that's gonna change quite a bit. Yeah, got a bit of upgrade on the user experience for me, and we also implemented her passive ability, and actually fixed animes that was a bit before. So yeah, that was a good stream. I hope it didn't take too long for you guys. 2 hours and a half. So please tell me what you think. Please follow. I will post this one on YouTube soon, as soon as I know. I don't know if I'm gonna do another stream, depending on. Well, I mean, if you guys had fun, I can do other ones like this. It's pretty nice. There's been actually quite a few people I've seen. That's a lot more than I expected. I half expected to be alone in this stream for the 2 hours. But yeah, that's if you found that interesting. If you have ideas, for instance, for as I said, I have no idea what to do for this for the upgraded version of the main poke. Maybe charge something. If you have ideas, don't hesitate to throw them my way. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys another time. See ya.